But the fruit of the Spirit is
love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
But the fruit of the Spirit is
Oh, hey Shockwave kids, welcome back to Church at Home. Just doing a little bit of watering. Winter and fall are now over and it's springtime and everything is coming back to life. This is our last week in the Garden of Gethsemane series where we're looking at the fruit of the Spirit. And you know, like we talked about last week, this fruit, it's something not normal. It's supernatural, something that God puts inside of us. See, it's kind of like this. You see this jar, it can't produce water on its own. But if I take a source of water and stick it inside of it, it's not just going to have water, but it's going to overflow with water. Now, this isn't to say that somebody that doesn't know God doesn't love and is kind. But what it is saying, what we are saying is this fruit of the Spirit is something different than just normal love, something different than normal joy. It's a supernatural love that goes so far beyond that only God can pour into us and it overflow in our lives. Let's take a look at that verse again on the fruit of the Spirit. Our verse says, read it along with me. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. That's Galatians 5:22-23. Well, since we can't have our usual egg hunt outside together this time of year, I thought we might have a virtual egg hunt around the facilities, especially since for a few of you, it's been a while since you've been able to come here to church. You might enjoy seeing the place. So you have 80 eggs to find, and if you don't have somebody next to you to challenge to see who can find the most eggs, grab them, call them over and say, hey, come see if you can find more eggs than me. But let's go take a look around the church and see if you can find all 80 eggs.
Jumpstart 3. Galatians 5:22-23. But the fruit of the Spirit is
love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
But the fruit of the Spirit is
love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
But the fruit of the Spirit is
love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
But the fruit of the Spirit is
love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
Galatians 5:22-23. This fruit right here is not from a tree, it's not from a loom, it's inside me. Got filled with the Spirit and it made me new. Wanna see that fruit coming out of you. God said when you trust you're a new creation, time to accept that. This fruit right here is not from a tree, it's not from a loom, it's inside me. This
love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
Galatians 5:22-23.
Against such things there is no law, no law. Against such things there is no law. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
Yeah.
Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
Galatians 5:22-23.
So what'd you think? Did you find 80? Most likely, if you were really, really good, you counted 79. That's assuming I got my math right. Because the whole time, there's been one right back behind my head. But you know, there's something that we could learn from these eggs. See, our lives are like these plastic, empty eggs. Whenever we don't have God, we're empty on the inside. We're just hollow. But if we'll allow Jesus' sacrifice, his shedding of his blood on the cross to come and cover our sins, we will find he changes us on the inside, and God will exchange the emptiness of our lives and fill us up with wonderful, sweet, amazing things.
Good for nothing. Oh. Soldiers, you're the ones supposed to be protecting us. Come. I've never seen soldiers run so fast. They were screaming something about an angel. But oh my goodness. That's the second earthquake this week. The ground was creaking worse than my back. Oh. Yeah, we had another one of these earthquakes just this past Friday, a couple of days ago. It was whenever that guy Yeshua, the rabbi, they killed him, they crucified him over on Golgotha. And they say as he died, the earth went black. I saw it. It was so dark outside. And then it began to shake and the earth shook and it was terrible. And, oh my. Now this is interesting. See, this tomb back here, Joseph of Arimathea was having carved out for his family a couple of weeks ago. Well, after Yeshua died on Friday, the disciples, they came and they asked for the body. And Joseph of Arimathea was a believer in Yeshua. And he asked for the body and he said, look guys, I've been digging out this tomb for my family, but we can use it to put Jesus' body into. So they got his body prepared real quick because it was about to become the Sabbath. And they came and they put it into the tomb and they rolled a big rock over the entrance to it. And, yeah, there was a big rock over the entrance. It's not there anymore. And then on Saturday, the Pharisees, they came to Herod and to Pilate, the leaders, and they said, look, these disciples might try to steal his body and start this whole thing up about that he rose from the dead. So, put a couple of soldiers on it and guard it and seal it with your own seal. And I was just coming down the road whenever I saw those soldiers running for their life, saying something about an angel. And, you know, I kind of want to go look and see what's inside, but, I don't know. I'm a little freaked out. Y'all mind coming along with me? Yeah, come along with me and let's see what's going on in here. My goodness, the soldiers plumb run, slap out their armor. There goes a sword. Now, don't step on that. It might cut your foot. Oh, let's see what's up in here. Look here. This was where they laid the body. In fact, these were the very clothes that they buried him in. I saw it all myself as they were bringing the body in on Friday. Now, this is interesting. Let's check this out. The main clothes he was wrapped in, they're just thrown there like he got up and just took them off and just threw the wrappings here. But the napkin that was laid over his head, it's folded nice and neatly. Now that's weird. Because see, we have a custom around about these parts. Oh, we got this custom that whenever you're out to eat, that if you're not done eating, you keep your napkin folded. You can set it right there, and as long as it's folded, you can get up, you can go do whatever you want to. You can go plant a garden. They won't mess with your food because they know you'll be back. That's a symbol of, in our culture of folding a napkin. I wonder if that's what he was trying to tell us, that one day he's coming back. You know, this Yeshua, he's done some really amazing things. I've seen people's lives that were changed forever. And it's looking to me like even though they killed him, they couldn't keep him dead. And now he's indicating that he's coming back one day. You know what? I think it might be time that I had a talk with Yahweh, with God, about this. Because I'm starting to think this was the Messiah. I gotta go do some praying. Anyway, y'all have a good Easter. Oh, been fun seeing y'all in the Garden of Gethsemane. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Hey everybody, my name's Little Billy, and there was this time I want to tell you about last Easter that we did this really cool thing in my class at school. See, the teacher, Miss Tammy, she's awesome. She gave us all of these empty plastic eggs and told us to go and take them and put something inside of them that reminds us of new life. And so I said, I want the orange one, because orange is my favorite color, and yay, I got it. And so then we came back the next day, we returned her eggs in, and she collected all the eggs up, and she first of all opened up Rachel's egg, and a flower was inside. Oh, it was so colorful. It was awesome. And the teacher was like, yay, Rachel, that's really awesome, because flowers, they like bloom, and they look like new life, and they're so pretty. And then she reached over to a green one, and it was Abigail's, and she opened it up, and a butterfly came flying out. We're like, whoa, how pretty. It was amazing as it flew around the room. And the teacher was like, yay, this is awesome. It reminds us of new life, because, caterpillar turning into a butterfly and all. And then I saw she had my orange egg, and she started opening up, and then she kind of pushed it over the side. And I was like, teacher, that's my egg. And she was like, I know, Billy, but it's empty. And I said, of course it's empty, because Jesus is not in the tomb anymore. The tomb is empty.
God says He loves a cheerful giver, someone that's just overflowing with love and kindness and just glad to give. It's kind of like watering plants. You're not like, oh man, I don't know if I want to give any water to these plants, but you're grateful and glad to do it. The same way that God is with us, that He was so freely gave of His love and of His power to us through Jesus. Well, it brings us again to the end of our time together. If you haven't checked it out already, the final video of the walking side by side with Jesus is available along with this one. If you can't find it anyplace else, gcogkids.com. Scroll down a little bit and you'll find the Easter devotional videos. But if you've enjoyed this time, be sure to like and share it with others. And if you don't already have an adult doing this with you, we're calling it Reignite the Fire, Fire of the Home Altar. Find an adult that's there with you, pull them in and say, hey, go over to gcogkids.com. There's some family devotional materials that y'all can do together. But God bless, and y'all have a wonderful Easter.